Hello, hello, hello. Greetings and what's up to everybody out there in the radio world. Just waiting for the music to do its thing.
Like about 10 more seconds, 15 more seconds. There you go.
Greetings, greetings, greetings. What's up to everybody out there in the radio world? This is the Dominion. Dominion. We are Dominion.
We are
We
Dominion.
are Dominion. And this is our
Yeah.
first time going live today. Well, live for us, not for y'all though. But y'all said it'd be much better. But first time today we doing this. We put it together. We had a mind, a great mind that saw something good in all three of us and thought that we could all mesh. Actually, four of us, and plus maybe plus one. And we figured that we would all mesh together really good to put this together and try to help uplift our people, ourselves, and the objective of Dominion is to uplift, to help. I mean, help the community, help the youth, help the household. Everything about family. So we trying to do whatever we can do to put our input into helping out our family and others as well. And Minute Talk. So we just gonna do a little freestyle.
First let's introduce ourselves. Let's start with Alonzo.
Yeah,
What's going on,
Alonzo,
man?
set it
People
off.
know who you are, bro.
Alonzo?
I gotta go first, man. Everybody, y'all sitting right there, and I gotta go first. My name is Alonzo Kirkland. I am currently via Skype all the way from Middle Georgia area, Cordell Perry, Fort Valley, Macon, Warner Robins, Bonner, everybody in that area. I represent 478 area. 42 years old, married for 15 years. Psychology background, ministry background, church background, so forth, so on, and everything like that there. Next up is
Oh, there. Well, of course, it's your boy Justice. For those who do know me, those who don't know me, of course, it's Justice again. Born and raised in Trenton, New Jersey, capital New Jersey. For those who don't know, always been in some form of entertainment, from management to promotion. Recently, just started getting into this radio stuff and podcasting and everything. But always wanted to make sure I kept a voice for my people. So, this Dominion thing is actually going to be a real good thing. I see it as being something real positive, real strong. So, what I mean? This is where we at with it.
And I am Mr. Jones. That's Kieron Jones. This is my first time too, as well, doing a radio show. I'm glad that I was invited to be on the show, so I'm gonna make sure I do it. Hello, hello, hello. Greetings and what's up to everybody out there in the radio world. Just waiting for the music to do its thing.
Like about 10 more seconds, 15 more seconds. There you go.
Greetings, greetings, greetings. What's up to everybody out there in the radio world? This is the Dominion. Dominion. We are Dominion.
We are Dominion.
We are Dominion. And this is our first time going live today. Well, live for us, not for y'all though. But y'all said it'd be much better. But first time today we doing this. We put it together. We had a mind, a great mind that saw something good in all three of us and thought that we could all mesh. Actually, four of us, and maybe plus one. And we figured that we would all mesh together really good to put this together and, try to help uplift our people, ourselves. And the objective of Dominion is to uplift, to help. Help the community, help the youth, help the household. Everything about family. So we trying to do whatever we can do to put our input into helping out our family and others as well. And Minute Talk, so we just gonna do a little freestyle.
First, let's introduce ourselves. Let's start with Alonzo.
Yeah, Alonzo. Set it off.
Know who you are,
Alonzo.
I gotta go first, man. Everybody, y'all sitting right there. I gotta go first. My name is Alonzo Kirkland. I am currently via Skype all the way from Middle Georgia area, Cordell, Perry, Fort Valley, Macon, Warner Robins, Bonner, everybody in that area. I represent 478 area. 42 years old, married for 15 years. Psychology background, ministry background, church background, so forth, so on, and everything like that there. Next up is...
Well, of course, it's your boy Justice. For those who do know me, those who don't know me, of course, it's Justice again. Born and raised in Trenton, New Jersey, capital New Jersey, for those who don't know. Always been in some form of entertainment, from management to promotion. Recently just started getting into this radio stuff and podcasting and everything. But always wanted to make sure I kept a voice for my people. So, this Dominion thing is actually going to be a real good thing. I see it as being something real positive, real strong. So, this is where we at with it.
And I am Mr. Jones. That's Kieron Jones. This is my first time too, as well, doing a radio show. I'm glad that I was invited to be on the show, so I'm gonna make sure I do what I can to bring forth the best of me to help this Dominion movement. That's about it. I mean, I got a few other things going on, but I ain't gonna talk about that yet.
We get into that.
Yeah, we get into that later.
I'm Ralph, also known as DJ Noise. I also go by the stage name as Ralphie Rotten. I also have been in, the entertainment, one foot in the teeter-totter in the mainstream and the underground, as a promoter, as a DJ, as a manager. It'd have been great if I'd fit in to say this was my first time. I've been on the radio for about 5 years, actually for about 6 years. I have a show on Hamilton Radio on Wednesday nights, and we've been going on 5 years. I got a great co-host. We interview all different people from different walks of life, and I am appreciative to be here. I'm happy to be a part of this movement. I like the whole concept. I am also trying to bring my 100 as well. Anything I can bring to the table.
All right, so we'll get started. So what was, I guess we could actually finish the conversation we was having outside before we got started.
The Supreme Court ruling. Matter of fact, Alonzo, you had to touch on some stuff, before we got started.
Yeah, about stuff. Like I said, when it comes like to the Supreme Court.
So what
stuff,
was the topic
man,
again? What was the actual topic?
The topic was about
having people cut their dreads off it was a pre-ruling for people to cut their dreads off for interviews, for job interviews. I'm assuming that's what it was about.
So you could be basically denied a job because you have dreadlocks.
Basically, that's what they're saying.
All right.
Basically, how it started, it was a company. I guess he was suing for the rights to discriminate against people with dreads because they said they are just too messy, I guess. And that, you know, and they actually won their court case. So basically, it's actually going to the Supreme Court and so forth and so on. Because, you know, as people of color, people wear they dress, and that's actually the trending style right now is people who dress wearing, you know, people. Me personally, like I said, outside of this, like, I have no problem with people who dress. You know what I mean? As long as they keep them up. You know what I mean? If you're going to take the time to grow your dreads, please take the time to keep them up. You know what I mean? There's no need for you to have a ducktail with your hair all mashed up and matted up and smelling. Staying talking about, yo, I'm representing my culture. No, you just fucking it up. But, I'm sorry.
I agree.
But I'm just being real, though.
No,
Hey,
like,
you know,
what it is.
because of course it affects me because I'm not cutting my hair. You know what I'm saying? I got dreads too, but it's like I feel the same way. They got to be presentable. You know what I'm saying? Like some people, like you get some people from the islands, like the roots people. They would say they have dreadlocks. It's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's part of their culture. So it's not only just like discriminating against the individual, but someone's religion or something like that as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you talk to a Jamaican or somebody, and they're like, well, you see, they be like, well, these guys not real dreads. It's a hairstyle. It's a difference.
I mean, my argument is this. You know, people came here in the beginning to make this the land of opportunity. Fast forward to today, you know, we know how America built the country on the back of slaves, on the back of, you know, robbing the land from others. In my opinion, this is unconstitutional because who's to say a court or a judge can say how you can wear your hair, either if it's long or, you know, I mean, that would mean, hey, women with long hairs, they should cut their hair too as well.
Or anybody with that natural look, so to say.
Absolutely. I mean, and we live in a time and age where everything else, X, Y, Z, and sometimes Y is now acceptable in society. So why the hell can't somebody's dreadlocks be acceptable?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, we're in my opinion, I say this all the time. I feel that we're a civilization that's supposed to be evolving. We evolve, and I feel that we are the progressive. We're not
constantly
progressing the positive way, especially telling somebody, you know, you can't walk, you know, in your graduation because you have dreads.
Yeah, I heard about that too
know?
in Texas, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. High school
and the kid,
graduate. Yeah.
Poor kid has gone viral because it's, you know, who's to say, you know, this person can't wear his hair the way he wants to. Maybe his dad wears his hair the same way.
There's another incident like that in it was New Jersey or Delaware, it might have been when young man was on a wrestling team and
Yeah,
yeah.
the referee wouldn't let him wrestle unless he cut his hair.
I think this was more down south. I think this was maybe Alabama, Louisiana, something. It was more down south, and I think the season was on the line, and the ref, it wasn't the coach, it was the ref.
The referee, yeah, the ref.
The opposing coach said, "I don't think that his hair is, you know, acceptable for this match. He can probably use that hair to win the match somehow." You know, this is by me hearing.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, let's just be real. You know, somebody that has, you know, their season on the line, you know, they're gonna use any kind of tactic so they can use that to win. You know, because in my opinion, the team season was on the line, and the coach said, "Listen, if you don't cut your dreads, we're losing the season. We have to forfeit, and we're not going to be in the playoffs." And you know, I don't think that child should have been put in that position. You know, to make a fast decision. All right, cut my hair. Let's win this.
Yeah.
You know, it's not
sports.
fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. You know, to me, it's unconstitutional. It's inhumane to ask somebody to cut their hair because somebody else doesn't think it's appropriate.
Exactly.
And my perspective on the whole thing is, if I'm a business owner or whatever, and I'm looking for somebody to come in and perform and do a specific job or a task, your appearance to me really doesn't matter. If you can come in and you could apply yourself and you can get the job done and you could get to, if this is the goal and we could reach the goal with you having dreads or having a jerry curl or having a bald head, it shouldn't matter. As long as we're reaching the goal, we're not hurting nobody, we're not putting nobody in harm's way or anything of that nature.
Yeah, like
then
you're working in a fast food
what's the
restaurant, your
point?
hair constantly falling in the food or nothing.
Yeah, now that's something different. You know what I mean? But if you have the ability, yeah, but if you have the ability to get the job done and perform the job in a safe way without hurting anybody else, I don't see what the issue is. Because I know a lot of times, like where we live at, there's a certain group of people that live out there, and they're not too fond of using like deodorant. So
I know
I'll
exactly
be
where
on
you
the
live at.
treadmill and I look over like I'm thinking it's a bag of garbage on the treadmill next to me, but it's not. It's a person. You know what I'm saying? But they do that based off of what they believe in
culture,
and
yeah.
their culture. So
Yeah.
I can't say to them, well, no, you can't be in the gym because you smell the way you smell. Because my deodorant might have the same stench to them. Whereas though it might smell good to me, but to them it might be like, ew, you
offensive.
smell it. Yeah. So I don't think, yeah, that right there to me is just like shaking the beehive. You just gonna open up a whole bunch of stuff that's unnecessary.
I'm looking at it and I hear it from the standpoint of culture, right? And whose right is it to tell someone that their cultural beliefs are not acceptable?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of how I'm looking at it. Because then it's like, where does it stop? So
Yeah.
now what's next? My dreads ain't looking good, so now what? My
Basically, it's
eyelashes
never
are
gonna
wrong.
stop. I mean, it's just like this is just a point in the standpoint of it all. You know what I mean? Because if you go back and you start thinking about your history and as far as what was acceptable back then into up to now, they're talking about dress back now, but back then, remember how everybody used to have to dress a certain appearance. Everybody was in suits. Females couldn't wear jeans or pants and stuff like that. There has always been a stigmata of something saying you can't do this unless you do this. Well, we're not going to hire you on because you're not dressed a certain way, or we want our females in skirts, long skirts, and not pantsuits, or you have to wear a full suit if you're a guy. You can't wear just a shirt and a tie or something casual. You know what I mean? Now, it's always been something, and you can like I said, go back to the 20s, go back to the 30s, and you will see it. You know what I mean? It's always been one thing or another to always pick at a certain group or a gender perspective. I can understand, limitations for certain things, like if you're working in the food industry and it might, like I said, it might cause a problem. You know what I mean? I don't want some hair on my double cheeseburger when I go to McDonald's. You know what I mean?
exactly.
If you got too much hair, you can't put it in the hairnet. Yeah, then I can see that's a problem. Where I work at, you know what I mean? You can't wear your earrings or or certain jewelry that got, diamonds or any type of little stones that can get loose because it can get into the product and
That's a safety hazard. That's something different.
Yeah,
though.
and that's what I was gonna say
Safety
too.
hazard,
Even
you
if
know
you
what I mean?
work, yes, you don't want your hair to get caught up in
Yeah,
the drill
somebody-
press.
you don't want to. Yeah, you don't want to do it like that there. But like as far as a business type world is concerned, where you're sitting in the office and you're behind a desk or you're in a cubicle and you're, typing or answering phone calls, that shouldn't even be no problem.
Nah,
It shouldn't
that
be no
shouldn't even
concern
be
or
a
whatever.
thought.
Unless you are just trying to be you're just trying to make it a all crew cut type thing, right? Where everybody has to look a certain way to be presentable because your clients want you to be a certain way. Then that right there is stereotypical, and yeah, that is kind of unconstitutional in the same way.
It's
Yeah,
also
so
dehumanizing
yeah.
the individual culturally as well.
Yeah. So on that note, I guess we'll move right into our topic
to
for
topic.
today.
Yeah.
So the topic for today is the state of our families. The state of our families. What do we think? Are we in a good state right now? A bad state right now? Can we do better? Should we do better? What are your thoughts?
My thought is we can always we can always do better with our families. If we have kids, you're grooming your kids to be a mirror image as you or your spouse, or your partner. But that's our state of our families are always, in a critical state because anything can happen. Things can happen in life. So children are constantly, they have to change. In our in my opinion, families, are the pillars of the communities, and it's up to us to keep them together.
Absolutely. So, you want to go, Jess? Let me go.
Okay, go ahead.
All right.
I got some
So
things on
what-
my mind.
Yeah, what I was going to say as far as looking at the state of the family coming from a male side of things is, I believe that, and this is including myself, that there are certain things that I know that we could do more with, that we could do better at, and certain things we could do without. You know what I mean? So it's, to me, I think it's all right, for instance, like there's a bunch of all right, I'll say
I
this.
gotta hear it.
So I'll say this, for instance, like health wise, I'm into health. I like to, be healthy. I like to do healthy things, and I like to try to, present that to my wife, my kids as well. And in the process of doing these things, you kind of have to, lead by example. And I feel
I'm bad leader by example. For that shit.
and I feel,
for that shit.
and I feel like if you, like, once you put it out there, you speak on it, you talk about it, now it's time to show and prove. So from that point on, it's like, all right, now I have to be the one that you see getting up, going to the gym, or making sure I get to bed at a certain time, or making sure that, the things that I'm eating on a daily basis, you see it. And then not only that, you'll start to see and notice the change in me. You'll see, like, oh wow, he wakes up earlier now. Oh wow, he has much more energy now. Oh wow, he's able to do things that he wasn't doing before. And this is all based off of the changes that I did in my life as far as health. So I think from a male's perspective, I think that's just one thing in the household, because from my understanding and my reading and research, health is critical because we all want to be or reach a certain age, but once you reach, your 60s, your 70s, you want to be healthy. You don't want to be
Because your body don't
take-
regenerate.
yeah, you don't want to be
so.
taking 20 different medications because you didn't think to do that when you was in your 20s and your 30s and your 40s. You know what I'm
The thing
saying?
is, when you're in your 20s, you think you're Superman.
Yeah, invincible.
And then once you start to hit that 40 plateau, you start feeling those aches and pains
You
that you've
start
never
learning,
had before, and you start to realize, damn, I got to get myself into the gym.
Yeah, it's
I gotta go to
real.
a doctor. You start feeling lumps, or weird things. Then you start evaluating your whole entire life, and then you start eating differently. Then you start looking at everything
In
differently.
a whole nother perspective. A whole nother perspective now.
So then you look back and like your 20-year-old self, you're like, you're an idiot.
yeah.
Why didn't you take these, vitamins or eat well or before? Now look what you're dealing with now.
Exactly.
So
and then you have those 20-year-old kids, so now you're really trying to put that on them. Like, look,
like listen.
I was your age before.
Like my son, he plays football. So all my clients play sports. But the first thing I tell him, like, you gotta learn how to take care of your body. You gotta
That's
learn
the
how to
first
take care of
thing.
your body. If not, you're gonna be
Somebody
broke
gonna
down.
be telling you how to
Yeah,
do
yeah,
it.
broke
Like
down,
this.
sore,
Take
and-
20 of these a day.
exactly. You know what I mean? And see, for me, family structure and from a male point of view is basically right at this point is like teaching men to be men. You know what I'm saying? In a family. It's been a long time since our culture had those structures in place. Because now, if you see now, the government is involved in everything. You can't discipline your kids the way you want to. You can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't, then, all right, so like I said, you can't discipline the way you want to. And then when something happens, they want to put the restriction on the parents. But you're not allowing me to chastise my child. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a double whammy.
Yeah.
And as a man, you're like, well, I'm stuck. Like, what am I supposed to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So your child out there running wild, And the government, like, well, I heard this on the news, like, they want to start locking the parents up for it.
For what?
For the whatever the kids do. This is
So
for Philly.
now you're gonna be
So say for
subject
example,
to-
yeah, whatever you say you give your child or whatever,
it's
yeah,
bullying in school.
or like hurt somebody, whatever, they're gonna charge the parent with it.
Well,
But at the same time, you're not allowing the parent to do their job.
Yeah, that's
I do agree with that.
This is what I'm gonna say, and it's the harsh truth, it's the ugly truth, and it's just the truth. Period. State of the family is fucked up.
Thank you, sir.
And I'm not saying all families is like that, because you know what I mean, you can teach your family, you can teach your kids, and you can rear them, or as we said, raise them right. You can do that. But it's hard to teach a man to be a man, especially when you have social media and mainstream media teaching a man to be a woman.
That too.
It's a double fight.
You see where I'm coming from with this?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I was brought up in a single parent household, so I did not have a male example. So me learning how to be a man is something that I learned how to do based on either looking at my
Trial and error.
friends' fathers, or learning on my own. So being like that, so me teaching my son how to be a man, it's a learning process, because I'm still learning to teach him how to be what I consider to be a man. But when he's on YouTube and he's looking at his favorite YouTube people, and they're of a homosexual gender, and they're dressing up in dresses and putting makeup on and lipstick and talking about that,
hair and all
it's
types of crap.
influence. When you go to school and you got these I hate these skinny leg jeans that actually makes the guys actually have a shape. And see, that's what a lot of guys don't understand, that when you put them skinny leg jeans on, it makes you have a shape that appeals to you, to make you look more feminine.
Yeah.
You're not looking masculine. You're looking feminine in those damn skinny leg jeans. Take them shits off or whatever. Go find you some straight legs or some baggy fits and put them back on. Because you're totally getting away from the whole concept of it. It's hard to make a man be a man in these days when they're pushing the gay agenda on everybody.
Everybody.
And it's not just men, but men are targeted the hardest, because we are looked at the hardest. There is no gray matter in that. You're either straight or you're not.
Right.
There is no, well, I like men and I like women, because men, we sit there, real men, we just gonna sit there and say, nah, you don't like, you might think you like
do
both,
both.
Yeah, you
but
can't
You're still gay.
you're gonna get pushed to that side,
Can't do both.
and it just and you just gonna feel the bullshit, man. I mean, and it's hard as a black male, and like I said, when we was growing up, there was a thing. As a black male, you already got one strike against you. Why? Because you're young and you're black. Mm-hmm. That's your one strike against you. Females, we used to tell them you had two strikes against you, because you're a female and you're black. So that way you know that when you start going out into this world, it's already going to be hard on you. Now here's where your teaching comes into play. I've always tried to teach my kids to understand the differences of the concept of everything that it is. Question everything. Don't sit there and take anything at face value. Because if you sit there and you believe anything at face value, they can tell you anything and get it over on you. Question everything. This is my biggest
like Christopher Columbus discovered America. I said, like Christopher Columbus discovered
America.
America.
You don't discover something where people was already here. You know what I mean? Let me go into the Beverly Hills district and discover Tom Cruise's house and claim it as my own.
Yeah, exactly. It was already there. Sorry.
Being a direct descendant from
sorry, Tom. I discovered this house just a few seconds ago. It's mine.
Yeah, I own it.
Being a direct descendant from I'm Puerto Rican, and I am a descendant of Tainos that were enslaved by Christopher Columbus and his whole entire crew, army, whatever. So I definitely understand. You know, I am one of those who preaches that we should not have, you know, we should not put Christopher Columbus on a pedestal
No.
because he was the first one to commit genocide on a large scale. And why should we praise a murderer? You know, so yeah, I could definitely understand, you know, Christopher Columbus. You know, he is not a discoverer, he's a murderer.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yes.
Like you were saying on the homosexual gender thing, like you never seen it before. Like this new millennium, you've seen it much more obvious in different ways. You know what I mean?
It's-
It's spread by social media.
Yeah, not on social media. You see commercials, you see it in movies, you see it on TV. You know what I mean? In all aspects of life, you see it is walking clearly like this is the normal.
I
And I'm saying this
started
is
first
this
on
is the
social
normal.
media, you know, where
No.
everybody gets
it's real
touched.
like,
and
you know what I
then
mean?
everybody
Like,
falls.
I remember when eHarmony first had their commercials popping up or whatever. They used to be like, yeah, find love on eHarmony. And it usually be a match of a male and a female. Now I'm
Right.
seeing
Oh yeah, I
eHarmony
saw a
commercials
commercial.
more homo-
Yo.
you know, what is more homosexuality now? It's like, yo, boom, you know what I mean? I met my match on eHarmony, and here's two dudes kissing. Wait, whoa, whoa, time out.
There's a harmony for every.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's crazy.
This
I
is
saw
real,
that.
you know what I mean? But I mean,
But going back to the state of
it is what it is, and like I said, for me to teach my kids the difference between right and wrong when there's so much wrong always going around them, how will they know that what is right is right? You know what I mean? I'm so proud of my kids. The other day they went out with their friends. And you don't honor your kids enough. So this is something I'm gonna honor my kids. I'm gonna tell y'all this story. I'm honoring my kids today. They went out with their friends. You know what I mean? My kids are 12. No, they're 13 and 14 now. They just had birthdays. They're 18 months apart. And they went out with their friends. And while they were walking around in the neighborhood, one of the friends pulls out a joint and lights it. Now, I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was a little boy or a little girl, but whoever it was, they pulled out a joint and they lighted it. My two kids walked away and came back to the house.
Speaks for yourself.
Wait,
There you go.
Speaks for yourself,
That
yeah.
is excellent parenting,
Yeah,
sir.
it speaks for itself. Like,
go.
You know what I'm saying? So I felt happy about that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Not
As
that
you should.
You should feel proud.
because- Yeah, I felt proud because you know what I mean. I taught my kids don't do drugs. Here's the situation where their friends were doing it and they didn't want to and they walked away. So I'm happy. I'm proud as a parent for like that. So I mean, you can teach your kids right, but like I said, in a world that's going so wrong, it's hard to tell them what's right. So you have to give them some type of direction for them to follow and let them make their own choices and decisions. So I'm happy about my kids. I'm proud. So we're gonna go get some ice cream, my treat.
McDonald's milkshakes or
But
something. But you absolutely right though. Like you gotta, like you saying as well, Karan. You gotta lead by example. You have to lead by example because if not, they're gonna all the other examples they're gonna get is gonna be from social media or TV or whatever. You know what I mean? So I'm always myself is always putting myself in a position where if I do this, how's it gonna reflect you know what I'm saying, to my family?
People
Yeah,
around
and
me.
people around me. So you know what I mean?
So you're setting the example
Yeah, so
and
yeah,
then leading it.
Exactly, you have to, because if not, the structure's going to fall and go back to where you know what I'm saying. You're trying to build it from
Repeat
the first
itself.
place. Yeah, exactly.
The
So
cycle.
we're trying to eliminate those generational curses.
Versus delete the program.
Exactly. We delete it and reset it and build a
Write
whole
a
new
new one.
program. Like we was talking about the
Structure.
politics thing. Exactly. Like we was talking about the politics thing. When you when we had me and Karan had a conversation or texted back and
Texted
forth
back,
in the
yeah.
group message about politics. You know what I mean, about today's politics. Would you allow your child to get involved in today's politics?
Absolutely
In
not.
order to change the structure of the way it is now, or would you rather just eliminate this whole or not eliminate, but just branch off and just start your own new form of government and way of living? You know what I'm saying, separate from what it is now.
Yeah, structured the way that it would work for you and your family, not
Exactly.
the way it would work for somebody else in their family. And we
if you
and we got to
if
the point where
everybody
it was too
breaks
much
off
texting.
and they start their own form of government, it will be such a mess. It'll be more of a mess than there is a mess right now. Okay, I learned at an early age that no matter who you vote for or how you vote, your vote really don't count.
So you in agreement with?
I've learned that too.
So you in agreement with you rather than just start your own culture altogether?
It's not even starting my own culture. It's getting people of like mind together.
Exactly.
If I can get people of like mind together and we can branch off,
It's
that
actually
area will probably be something totally different from the rest of everybody else. But because you have so many followers and not enough leaders, you're not going to get this like-mindedness together. Here we are in a format. We're trying to expand people's horizon based on what we believe in and how we connect together as four individuals. You know what I mean? We're all from different backgrounds. You know what I mean? We're all from different areas and everything else like that. Like I said, if I was there and sitting up there next to the panel with everybody else, you can tell that we're not related. And you know what I mean? We're not. We ain't go
But you can't tell Ralph, my cousin, on the mama side.
You know what I mean? we came through. We coming through underneath one creative idea together because she believed in us. So here we are trying to shine. So that way we making her vision come true. You know what I mean? People, like I said, if you do, like I tell everybody, do your math. $7.25 an hour, 40 hours a day. 40 hours a week, 52 weeks a year. It's not enough to live off of. When rent in my area, I don't know what it is in y'all, but for
Too damn much.
For a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house or whatever, they charging $860 a month.
Where is this at?
Yeah, what is that?
I'm in Georgia. See, thing is, that's what I tell everybody. I'm in
Georgia's cheap. Yeah, I was gonna say that's cheap compared to where we at. Oh my god.
Georgia happens to be my preferred destination. Y'all know I'm an Atlanta Braves fan. I live in Jersey. My taxes, I own a home, and the mortgage is not that much, but the taxes is where it eats me alive.
Yeah. What part of Jersey is this?
I live in Hamilton. I live on the very tip of the border of Hamilton and Trenton, so I can really just hop onto the Trenton side. When the cops are coming after me.
Except for when it comes to your taxes for your house.
It's Hamilton. It's Hamilton. They don't care. They don't care how close to Trenton I'm in. Yeah. They're like, you know what? You live in Hamilton. We want that money.
You in this bracket over here.
You in this bracket. And it's one of those. Every time you got, you think you got ahead, something always comes up. So it's, I wish I had the $800 a month.
Yeah, live it up, my man, live it up.
But like I said, $860 a month is probably cheap for y'all because of y'all pay rate. Y'all probably making good money. You know what I mean? Close to 20, 30 an hour, man. Man, ain't nobody making that down here.
And nobody making that up here either.
Man, we struggling, man. If you get a job that's paying over $15 an hour where I stay at, man, they consider that you are actually living good. You're high,
serious?
You actually walking. Serious, dog. Man, most of these people down here, man, they making less than $10 an hour.
True story. I went to an interview yesterday. They offered me $15 an hour. I can't live on that.
No,
I can't.
You cannot.
You cannot.
Now, I want to chime in real quick. Let me chime in real quick. So now, does this structure affect the family and the home?
Yeah.
Because you have this, because
Yes.
everything is so, inflated. How does that affect the home now? How does that affect the structure of the home?
If you're a single parent, now you got to work 2-3 jobs. So the child's home by themselves. You know what I mean?
Child's raising. And you can't depend on grandmama because grandmama
40. No, grandmama 40.
Grandma the party.
She going out.
She going out with the mom.
But then if you are living in a 2-parent family, whatever, both parents work. Sometimes both parents may have 1 or 2 jobs as well. So once again, you back to the child raising themselves. I mean, no structure.
We have gone away from what we was taught. Remember it takes a nation to raise a child.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
We
And I just said,
we have totally lost that. We've totally lost that. And I mean, there is no
Village, take a village.
You mess
takes a
up,
village in the community
your
to
grandma
raise kids.
beat your butt, your uncle's gonna beat your butt, your auntie's gonna beat your butt, then I'm gonna come home and beat your butt. You know what I mean? So you got 4 or 5 whoopings.
And you thought about that. You thought about that before you did something. Because now you like that. If my mom beat me, I'd be all right. But my uncle, I don't like the way he hit me hard. So now you might not do what you was thinking about doing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And to go back to what you were saying as far as the community raising a kid, I just had a conversation at my job the other day, and we was talking about the community, and I was like, basically the same conversation. I was like, well, we've been living where we are for, 5 years now? And I'm like, some of my
tax bracket too now. Let you know that.
Some of my neighbors, I don't even know them. I don't even know their names. They don't even know my name.
Same here.
You know what I mean? And it's like we really just start having conversations with our direct neighbor that's right next to us. No, this is true. Like, and it's only because
it's a true story.
Yeah,
I mean,
and it's only because.
You know what I mean? My next door neighbor, I know who they are. I don't know them.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? The one that stays across the street, I know who they are, but I don't know them.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that goes. I can go down the whole block.
The whole block.
And I know you stay there, but I don't know your name.
Yeah, I know the car you drive. Yeah. I know who you married to. I know your kids, but
the cops showed a picture of you. I'm like, yeah, that's him, but I don't know him.
Yeah. So I say that to say this: where and when did that change? Because this, to me, it sounds like it was a planned situation to say, hold up, that way is working for them, so we need to do something to disrupt that and change that. So now we don't want the community to help. Your neighbor's not gonna help you. We're gonna make sure of that.
Well, I mean, my street is weird. I do the same thing. I know the guy next to me, but I don't know his name. I know the car he owns. I know how many kids he have. But I don't know him.
Yeah. You know the dog he walks and scoops the poop after.
But let me tell you, if I brought another woman to my house, best believe those eyes are gonna be out there. And as soon as my wife comes up, yo, you had a girl there. Mm-hmm. So there's some community on my street, but there isn't.
Yeah,
so
I get what you said.
I totally get what you guys are saying. I like my street, but I don't like my street because I don't know my neighbors that well. I don't disclose, too much personal shit because I don't want them to either know what I'm doing I guess.
The thing is, it's not about disclosing personal shit. The more I
don't trust them.
That too. Sometimes is that people don't take the time to get to know each other no more.
Yeah, exactly.
To do that, to actually even feel comfortable to do that.
Yeah, because people don't go out. How you doing? You know what I mean? Like people don't do that no more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying everything goes back to the social media life now. Everybody's secluded. You get your food delivered. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody
you don't do shit no more. You can sit home and get everything
you
you
do anything
now.
from a laptop and a computer right now.
So do we think that's where it all?
Turn everybody to zombies. Like society's turning to zombies.
These things are the start of the root of the problem.
It's more of an 80s versus 90s versus new millennium type thing. When music was when growing up, the hip hop era, we totally off whatever our main focus was. We go totally different.
No, but this does all go back to the structure of the family and how all this affects the structure of the family.
I remember growing up going to the house parties, you know what I mean? And we would be at a house party and at the start and everybody will have fun. We'd be dancing. People would be smoking outside, drinking. There's a craps game going on in the back. Everybody's having fun. Party ended at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. There was no fights. You know what I mean? Nobody was getting stabbed. Nobody was getting shoot up. None of that. Everybody was just, all cool with one another. I don't know exactly when everything switched.
I have a good idea. Cause I look.
Just because it went from I'm hanging with everybody to now I'm just hanging with a certain few.
Yeah, if not that, I'm by myself. Totally.
Yeah. And
Now I'm by myself. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I kind of remember where I saw a switch, and I remember being a De La Soul fan, Tribe Called Quest fan, Queen Latifah, you know what I mean, Jungle Brothers. Yeah, and that was all fun, like you said. Everybody having fun,
hip-hop,
everybody doing their thing, and then NWA came out. Then everything changed. So where everybody was having fun and partying, now it was like, what? Where you from? Boom, boom, boom. So now the whole concept of the music changed, which is in your household, in our household, our kids are listening to it, our kids are watching it. So now that concept, that changes. So now the whole thought process changes. So now where it was about having fun and everybody, you know, communicating and being able to be on the same level, now it turned into that.
I want to be a gangster. I want to be a thug.
Yeah, so now the people that was cool and hanging out is like, man, I'm not even hanging out no more because these jokers might pull up on the scene, and now the house party getting shot up. And this is the type of stuff we see constantly today.
So do you think it was because, you know, music affects the soul in different ways. You know what I mean?
You can if you let it.
It could be music.
It can. You know what I mean? So do you think it was designed that way?
Absolutely. I think in the late 90s, middle 90s, the music it belonged to the people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not just talking about blacks. I'm talking about the people from the neighborhoods, the hoods, you know, minorities.
Music is cultural, you know, all over.
Worldwide.
It's not just black or white. It's all over.
I'm more talking about minority neighborhoods, where hip hop now is global.
Mm-hmm.
Before the internet, hip hop was more. It was a small knit community, and you know, I remember the Million Man March. You know, it was in the mid '90s. You know, where, you know, and it wasn't not just, you know, young blacks and blacks. There was, you know, minorities out this, you know, down there.
Different colors, different backgrounds.
Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, Dominicans.
And there was strong, you know, eyes to progress. There was means to progress, you know, and then it's when corporations took over the music and designed it to where they can massage people to listen to, and the culture. And I'm not just talking about hip hop culture. The culture of music is designed for other things now. It's, you know, they glorify, you know, gangs, thugs, you know, cars, Rolexes. I mean,
getting high.
I mean, you got kids singing, "I want a Rolly." These kids will never see a Rolex. You know, I have never seen a Rolex in my life.
I've seen one. I just can't afford to buy one.
I just screenshotted it though. Like,
but you know what I'm saying? You know, and I think that's where it goes back. You were saying that the music changed a little, but in the early 2000s, I think that it forcefully was changed because we all know music influences, you know, Fight the Power, you know, Wu-Tang, you know, Biggie, you know, they didn't want that. So they said, you know, we want to dumb down people listening to music.
Yeah, don't think.
So we also want to glorify
don't want thinkers anymore.
Wearing dresses. Exactly. We don't want mind thinkers. We want people to follow. We want people to be sheeps. So that's what happened with music.
And they have achieved that.
Absolutely.
Especially with, I don't, like I said, I tell folks, man, this music right now is not even hip hop. Hip hop stopped going around 1999, maybe 2000 or whatever. This music now, man, where everybody's rapping like, what the hell are they saying? I don't understand that shit. You know what I mean? And they're not really talking about nothing. I mean, the beats are good. They got nice beats.
The beats are always dope.
Yeah, they make that
the lyrics
sound
are just
crystal
straight
clear.
trash. They ain't talking about nothing. You know what I mean? And if they talking about anything, they talking about Percocets and Molly's
sipping
and
lean,
popping pills, drinking cough syrup with Sprite and some other alcohol.
You're not even sick.
That rapper that one hit wonder, Panda. That track was just talking about I got trappers, I got jammers, I got shooters, I got drugs, I got.
That's on
And you
Panda?
could not understand anything else he
Panda.
said.
Oh yeah.
that joint.
See, I don't know what this shit say. I just know the hook. That's
Yeah,
it.
That's it.
The hook
I
and the
don't
beat.
even know. I don't even listen to stuff like that. I keep my radio off or whatever. I got a USB
You see,
drive in my
I have a slight problem. I'm a DJ, so I can't ignore it.
You let it go and just
I have-
it just be like, oh.
If I'm hired to play that kind of music, I'm like, oh, you know, I do have limitations. I don't.
You do a disclosure before.
No, I actually, you know, I'll tell them, you know, if a client comes to me and says, listen, I want you to play this music, I'll tell them, do you want the good version or the bad version?
Clean
Just
it
be
and
real.
dirty, yeah.
I'm gonna either play it the bad or the good, and they're like, you know, let's keep it a little classy. All right, you know, and I always have to tell them up front. And sometimes I have limitations. I do not play any Cardi B at all whatsoever. Because
No.
absolutely whatsoever because I
Let
think
me
she.
guess. You have daughters?
I have a daughter, and
Okay.
I think she degrades. She makes it right to be a thought. I'm sorry, not just me.
Yeah.
Keeping it real.
And they took her and they just put her up here.
And she can't rap for if you hear her hooks or her bars, she can't rap for shit. Somebody's writing her stuff and she's selling it.
Yeah.
She can shake her ass
She's
great,
definitely selling
but
it.
she's selling it. You know, and what she's selling in the hood that it's okay to be a stripper, rob a dude, and talk dirty and
Oh
be
yeah,
like-
and remember the thing where she said we're gonna be closing this soon on this topic, but she said
Keep
that
going.
she clearly said that when she was younger, when she was
She
a
robbed?
stripper, she would get dudes back to the hotel,
Yeah.
drug them,
and rob.
and then not only rob them, but she would get a transvestite or something to have sex with him, and I'm like, damn. Bill Cosby did way less than that.
And she's still running out making money.
She's still
Yeah, it's
going
crazy.
platinum on every TV show,
That's
whatever network
crazy.
you could think of. But yeah, I'm like, damn, you saying Bill Cosby, somebody
If
willingly
she
took
wasn't-
something that he
if
gave.
she wasn't making these companies billions,
Then yeah,
she would be
In court.
Yeah,
with
she'd
rest
be
of them.
locked. Yeah,
under
yeah.
scrutiny, under investigation.
Yeah.
It's the only reason why she's still walking, talking, is because she's making billions.
she's got the backing of the.
And Bill Cosby was way too powerful. That's why Cosby's locked up. Cosby was trying to buy NBC, and if Cosby wasn't trying to buy NBC,
Yeah, they left him alone.
They left him alone.
he'd be walking around right now.
Yeah.
We
He
gotta
was
go.
trying to buy NBC. That's
Perfect example, Michael Jackson. He owned the whole entire Beatles catalog, a lot of music, and we know what happened to him. So
Yeah.
I just.
But
top on
that
real quick.
that could be
That's for another-
that'll
that's
be
for
another topic yeah for another.
We'll plant the seed there.
Yeah. So we'll go into our phone, and we actually do have an audience here. It's not a big audience, but they're an audience.
An audience.
This is
One
episode
considers
one.
an audience.
Yeah, this is the episode one. So we got more than one audience member, so that's a good thing. So yeah, let's clap for that. Let's clap for that. Day one, we got more than one person in the audience.
I have a question, gentlemen. First of all, I love this. This is something so brand new that I'm excited. I'm excited, one, because I see all men. I'm used to seeing the real. I'm used to see others where it's a lot of women
The
talking.
View.
Oprah.
The View.
Yes. Oprah, when she was on Ricky Lake, if you remember Ricky
Yeah, I
Lake.
remember
back
that.
in the day,
Uh-huh.
Jessica Raphael.
Mhm.
They're all female representation, but we don't see men coming together to share. Now, I got something. 'cause
Jerry
I was
Springer doesn't
on,
count.
Jerry Springer really
Doesn't count.
No, that's
What about
not
Maury
big, man.
Povich? Maury, he be doing some good stuff.
I like Maury. I like Maury.
Dr. Phil. I like Dr. Phil.
You are not the father.
Yeah, exactly.
On Facebook that put everything I had on fire. So I'm going to present it to you as men
Mhm.
and as married men and as fathers, how you feel, because I think it was 2 8-year-old children, a boy and a girl. And the boy was, of course, dancing behind this young 8-year-old girl. And she might have been younger than that because they were smaller than that. And she was bumping and grinding all up on this little boy. He was probably no more than 6 because they were younger. They were smaller than that.
Mhm.
But what really got me is that there were adults
Cheering them on.
around them, filming it,
I'll go
posting
first.
it,
Cheering them on.
cheering them on.
Last on this one.
I go first on that one. I got a daughter.
So I want to know, and I'd love to know your take on the state, and here we're back to the family again, because our kids are being superimposed into an adult life.
Too early.
So now what?
I'll chime in real quick. What's happening is back to Cardi B. You have young girls, as small as 8, 9, 10, twerking. Listen, about 4 years ago, I have a beautiful daughter, Isabella. She's the light of my life. She is also a pain in my ass in my life, but I love her with all my heart.
They go hand in hand.
And exactly, I'd seen her twerking one day, and I started scratching my head like, how the hell? When did this happen? And I told her, I said, listen, I don't want you to twerk. You can do that when you turn 18, but you know what? I think it's you want to twerk, great, but you know what? Do it classy. Do it when you're 18. Do it, don't do it where it's disrespectful to yourself.
How do you twerk classy?
You can dance. You
put a suit and tie on.
I kind of put it in a different perspective. Like
He held back.
I held back. And I just, when you see when I see my daughter, twerking, I'm like, the first thing, part of you wants to scream and punch a wall, but then I got to fix that wall and I got to fix my hand. So I had to step back as a educated father and explain to her, the right way to dance and how to dance.
It is a dance. Don't get me wrong. It is a dance. But
you can't be doing it
at the age of 8.
at 8,
Yeah.
And that's why I said
If
to her,
you're a grown woman, you want to twerk.
do it classy,
By all means.
but don't do it like that.
Well, while I got this microphone, all I see twerking as is simulated sex on the dance floor.
But
Pretty much.
Over the years,
But
we see
this
dances like that over the years as well. But
simulated
it's a
sex,
dance.
though.
You go to a lot of the islands. You see how the Jamaicans
Yeah,
and Caribbeans,
that's
get
the
That's
thing.
a part of the. That's
Yeah,
a part of the
that's a part
culture.
of their
dancing.
culture.
It's a form
Yeah.
of art. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when you 6 years old, being filmed by a bunch of adults, that's
What
wrong.
do you even know about
So
that?
you're not
Kind of,
teaching nobody
in
values.
my
and-
opinion,
you know
it's
what I'm
kind of
saying?
illegal.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
filming a child bumping and grinding with somebody.
Child pornography, right?
Yeah.
They should be incarcerated
Kinda.
for that.
Yeah.
You know what
Kinda.
I mean? So that is crazy right
Yeah.
there. That goes
And
back
that-
to the structure of our families.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
And to chime into what you were just saying, me and my wife have a goddaughter. She's 6, no, she's 7 now. And Gigi, what's up, Gigi? And she's a very smart little girl. I mean, very smart, to the point where you can have a conversation with her and she'll actually know where to inject certain things into the conversation because her mind is so advanced. Whereas though you think, kids is like, you think you tell them something like you couldn't just tell her anything and she'll be like, okay, she gonna question it like, huh? Why? That's not gonna happen. It don't work that way. Like
Technology,
she's one of them
baby.
because she knows. So anyway,
That's how mine is.
Yeah, so
mine
anyway-
is educated like I
Yeah.
can't even explain.
so I say that to say this. She, same thing. This was a while back and she's 7, so it wasn't too long ago, but she was twerking once too. And then when I saw her, I reprimanded her like immediately, like, yo, don't do that. Stop doing that. That's not cool. You don't even know what you're doing. Why are you doing that? Yeah, I mean, these are
Are
questions.
That's exactly how I told
and
my
these
daughter. It
are
was just-
questions.
I tried to
and-
I tried
yeah.
to word it better.
And as smart as
doing
she,
that shit,
yeah.
damn it.
And as smart as she is, she couldn't rebuttal it.
She
She
couldn't
couldn't
understand it,
answer, why am I doing this? And if she could, the only thing she could say is, I saw somebody else doing it, so that's why I
See
did
it
it.
on TV.
So now I kind of pounded that into her brain. So if she is amongst other people and she's doing that and my name is mentioned or I walk into the room, it immediately stops. You know what I mean? So I can attest to what you say. I don't have any daughters, but like
Needless
I
to
said, we do
say,
have a
my daughter
goddaughter.
does
And
no longer twerks.
yes, and I trust and believe that.
I just feel it's
Part of her
it's
don't work.
it's how you put it out there. It's the
Yeah.
kind of type of energy you put it out there. I didn't want to ban her from it, but I wanted her to think about it before she did
Yeah,
it.
understand
And
why you're doing what
understand.
you're doing.
And I guess I put it out there that she could do it, but I didn't want her to do it. So I didn't want her to be rebellious and do it anyway.
Yeah.
So that's how I worded it. I worded
Right,
it differently to where she could understand it, I could understand it. At the end of the day,
You read some parenting books, huh?
listen, I don't read with parents. Listen, I'm not.
All experience,
I have 2 kids. I have a wonderful 11-year-old. I have a 16-month-old little boy, and they are both thorns. I love them with all my life, my every breath. But they both have their pros and cons. You know, my son
That's right.
always wants to be in my arms. I can't do nothing without him being up my ass. And my daughter always wants to ask questions like, what's ovulate mean? So it's like, you know, I have to.
Talk to your mom.
You know, I have to. As soon as I said, you know what, when your mom gets up, you can ask her. She can answer that better. And I didn't go back. I just try to skate away from that question. You know, parenting is not an easy job. It's an investment for
Full-time
life.
thing, yeah.
And I'm not an expert. I go as I learn as I go. And sometimes, you know, it's common sense. You got to instill common sense with, you know, experience of what I grew up. I grew up in a bad household. You know, my mom, I love her, but it wasn't easy. So I try to make the same, you know, better judgments, and I don't want to lead it into my home life. You know, that's
Right.
Yeah.
you know.
Do we have any more questions?
No questions.
Before we do the question,
Well, hold on. Before we go to the question, I wanted to go ahead and piggyback off this
Yeah,
question that she
definitely.
Go right ahead, brother. Go right ahead, my good brother.
But we was doing the butt.
There we go.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
y'all remember that,
sex
man?
rap.
I know that. Remember
It wasn't twerking. It wasn't twerking.
It wasn't working.
But remember,
It was,
Salt and Pepper, Push It.
Was it cleaner? Was that cleaner?
It was cleaner because we had
It was conservative
the adults
clean.
in my school would always make sure we had a 3-foot gap between. You know, get away, y'all too close. Y'all too close. So, you know what I mean? Even though we was doing the butt, and females had baggy pants on, so you really couldn't see the butt actually doing anything. So
Are you
you
doing
didn't get
the
to see it. But
That's funny
for
you say that.
kids 5 and 6, and I don't know how old they was in the video, and dancing and the people cheering them on, they learned that from whoever they was watching.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they was watching something on BET, MTV, or any other network show where they was twerking and dancing like that, or they learned that from watching their parents. They learned that. It was a learned behavior.
Absolutely.
Or whatever. So I don't fault the kids. I fault whoever they learned it from, the parents or whoever let them learn it. Me personally, my kids don't do stuff like that. I have weird kids. A and B student kids.
No, you have great kids. You have great kids.
You know,
You have great
they're
kids.
weird because they don't fall into the culture like a lot of people do. They sit there and like my daughter, she's into BTS. And BTS, if you're listening, I know y'all coming to Atlanta soon. I need about 10 tickets because my daughter and her friends would really love to come see y'all. And I'm not about to pay $250 a ticket to get into the concert. So, but she listens to BTS and a lot of Korean or the K-pop culture. That's what she's into. So as far as twerking, I don't know if she knows how to do it. But if they do twerk in Korea and I catch her doing it, I sit there and I talk to her and let her know that, hey, remember when I told you that I was like, whatever you do in life, make me proud. Twerking is not one of those days that you need to do in life that's going to make me proud. You know what I mean?
I would not be proud of that.
So
I will not be proud.
there's
I'm right with you. I'm
ways
right there
to
with
get
you, brother.
around.
Yeah. So we have another question from our lovely audience. What's your question?
My question is, do you guys think the family dynamics have changed because both parents are working out of the home now? Back in the day, both my parents did work, but my mom was more of a homemaker, and we went to work with my mom. So the dads were like the true leaders back then, because dad would come home, and before he got home, it was like the house had to be clean. We would be quiet. We'd be afraid. You know, if we did anything wrong, was like when your dad comes home, then he's gonna get you. So we were like much more disciplined back then. So do you think it's because both the parents are outside of the home? There's not one.
I'll let you chime in. I'll go second.
Did you hear that, Justice?
Did you hear that, Justice?
What was the question?
The question was, do you think the dynamic of the household changed as far as both parents working, whereas though back in the day, a lot of times, the father worked and the mom stayed home?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I'll chime in first.
after you.
So what I think, I don't think it was a helpful thing. I always tell my wife, I think the women was kind of suckered into the whole, we want to have the same rights type of thing. And they say, yeah, vote for your rights. You got the same rights as them. Go get a job just like them. And they kind of fell for it. But, everybody's situation is different. But I think that it was more of a stress on the woman, on the mom, on the female, because now, a woman is naturally a nurturer. Her natural God-given ability is a nurturer. She creates and she nurtures the creation. You know what I mean? And then she lets it go out and do its thing. So now you're taking the natural thing that a woman does and you're shifting it to do something that she really wasn't, not saying that she can't do, but it wasn't
nature.
structured for you to do that.
Yeah,
you
by
know what I
nature,
mean?
yeah.
You're the loving one. You're the kind one. You're the soothing one. You're that one. You know what I mean? You develop milk in your breast to feed somebody. We can't do that. You know what I mean? So now to take that from her and to give her something else is, to me, I think that is way worse than anything else you can kind of do to mess up the structure in a family. You know what I mean? Because I think the woman is the most important part. Because without her, it won't be another generation. You know what I mean? Nobody else gets born.
Exactly.
Nobody else gets raised. And you know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff that you could learn from a woman, from your mom, that you can't learn from your dad or from the man, because we don't have that in us to do it.
Absolutely. I grew up, where my mom was a single mother. And I enjoyed hearing that because, the house had to be clean before Dad got home. I'm married. I've been married a little over 12 years. Been with my woman about 18 years, and counting.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, congrats.
It's an investment. It's it's a big investment. Merging, two lifestyles, two lives, two different families together. And we've made it work with, they say opposites, attract, and we are opposites. We're polar different opposites. She loves God, she goes to church, do this, does that. She's a great mother. I'm the hard worker, I clean. She doesn't. So in a way, she waits for me to come home. I do the cleaning, do the trash. She wants me to vacuum. If I could cook, I can cook, but I don't, because I feel that I leave her I try to leave her something to do. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we argue more because we don't do enough of that. We don't work, we don't co-parent in the house. We co-parent our kids together, but she's at her mom's, I'm at the house. I work 3 or 4 jobs. And also, remember I said that we struggle. We live check to check at times. So she has to go out and do some work. So I don't disagree completely with the woman not working, but she shouldn't have to work a 40, 50-hour job week, because it takes away from what she's maternally trying to do, is trying to raise kids. Do I agree that she should clean the house a little bit more? If she isn't, get your lazy ass off the couch and do something. It's hard for me to word it. But yes, the dynamic has changed because, the person the child in a household does not have a parent on a constant basis. So me, if I work nights, I'll see my son maybe Monday. I won't see him Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. You know, at times, depending on my work schedule. So yes, I do believe that the household dynamic has changed. Should it get better? It should get better. It needs to get better. And that's just not me. I think it's in general in society and, you know, in the world
As a whole, yeah.
as a whole.
How about you, Jess?
Go ahead.
Or go ahead.
Real quick, because we got to wrap it up.
Chime
So
in. Yeah, we got a couple
give us,
minutes. Chime in.
Give us your thoughts real quick, bro.
Go ahead, do it. I'm gonna let Jess go ahead and end this one or whatever. I can hold my thoughts for another show.
Or you get once it gets posted, you can throw your comments on the post.
Yeah, it made a big difference. Like you was going back to what you're saying, took away that nurturing fact in the household. Kids was more or less left to defend or depend on themselves.
Kids are more independent now.
Yeah, which is not a bad thing, but
But it's also a bad thing as well.
it is because there's no structure there. Now because now kids are trying to like, how do I do this and try to learn stuff on their own? They seeing the wrong influences. You know what I mean, they're not seeing the correct things or the positive things that should be there. You know what I mean, like I said, I'm not against you know, a woman going out and finding a job because we gotta pay these bills.
The mortgage doesn't care who's working. They just want their money.
They just want their money. So, but at the same time, I mean, people gotta you gotta go back to some traditional things.
What
Sit
works.
down at the dinner table talking to your child.
Dinners.
You know what I mean?
Home dinners.
Different stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Traditional things will help rebuild our structure in our families. You know what I mean? We can't stop the future from happening. We can't stop technology from happening, but we can always go back to what we learned.
Stick to our guns.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly. Stick to our guns and we teach it. You know what I mean? So that's what it's about. Rebuilding, restructuring the family. You know what I'm saying, within ours if we have to, or within our communities as well. You know what I mean? That's what Dominion is going to do on this show. That's what we're going to do on this show called Dominion as men, giving our views and our thoughts on how to rebuild not just our lives, but help rebuild structure in other people's lives as well. I mean, express our thoughts.
Yep.
She messed me up, but where? Yeah, that's pretty much what I was saying. Like, as far as the show itself is going to be like, so you're definitely going to look forward to hearing more from myself, Karan, Ralph, Pop, aka Antonio, and also I think we have another guest. I said your name wrong.
Close enough.
I'm bad. That's why I said Pop the first time, because I'm bad with names. Antoine. I know some of the A, bro. My bad.
It was close.
Listen, I get it right. But make sure you look forward more to that. We also will have another guest coming on, or another co-host soon. So, Alonzo. See, I done said his name three different ways. Didn't get it right. So I'm just going to stick with Pop. I'm just going to stick with Pop. How about that?
Pop it is.
He's Pops because we see him in the big TV over
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
right.
So until
Yeah.
we see him here with us,
He's going to be Pop's next. Listen.
yes.
Special guests coming. We'll also be coming on. So we definitely look forward to y'all tuning in, watching us, and all that. So just make sure y'all tune in every Thursday. Every Thursday we be in this 5 to 6.
Every Thursday.
All right.
Check us out.
And let us-
Dominion.
Dominion, and let us be your inspiration, and you can inspire us.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes, we are Dominion.
And if you got any questions outside of this that you need to talk to me about, please hit me up. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat. What the fuck else I'm on? I'm just on that shit, man. You can just find me. It's everywhere. I don't mind talking to folks, man. You know what I mean? Just hit me up.
You can hit me up as well. I'm Google me on Ralphie Ryan on social media. I'm the only Ralphie Ryan in the world, so you will definitely find me.
Mr. Jones, you can check me out. 456 Podcasts. 456 Can't Beat That. We on YouTube. We on Instagram. We on Facebook.
You find me on Facebook, King Saint Justice. Saint is spelled Saent. Take my Funny Bone comedy show page, Global Unlimited show page, podcast page. SAENT 360 is all over the place. Twitter, Facebook is all there. So make sure y'all tune in.
I'm also on HoundtonRadio.net on Wednesday nights from 9:30 to 10:30. Freestyle Freaks. Check us out.
Dominion, y'all.
Dominion.
So,
Hamilton Radio.
just to,
Yeah.